Alright, so I promised an update. I'm a lot into this game. You can see up on the left, day 62 in-game. I have a bunch of money right now because I just finished a big contract. So I'm going to just kind of walk you through. You saw the very beginning of the game when I did the demo, and now I'm several real hours into it and 62 game days into it. And basically, I have all the stuff you can get. Not everything is fully upgraded, but I do have all the stuff you can get. Most of the game quests are basically getting all that stuff. I have the marketplace. I go here a lot. I've expanded it so that it offers a few more things. Basically what I do is, if I'm trying to fill something like metals, then I'm looking for a good price. So this is in red, it is not a good price. This is in red, not a good price. That's per bag, so 5 times that. This is a good price, it's in green. Sometimes they're in yellow, which is kind of neutral. So you won't, I don't know if there's any on here right now that are like that. But yeah, there you go. So that's a neutral price, that's going price. So if I was to buy this and then sell it immediately, I would just break even. Whereas with the green prices, you'll make a little bit of money. So I don't really do that. You can do it in the beginning of the game as a way to quickly flip and make a few bucks, but it's a lot of clicking for very little reward. It's not, the game isn't designed for that. Mostly what I do is I come here looking because, say I need to fill a big metals contract, I'm looking for these big quantities of big metal items at a good price, and then I'll buy them. So these I would probably buy. These I think are 8 or 10, I think they're 8 kilograms, something like that. So yeah, you just look for the good price. Like these are about 30, so I could get those and quickly fill that without having to take all the time that's required to go looking for stuff, driving around. You saw some of that in the last game. This is my car parts graveyard, so as I collect parts from like the dumper or whatever, stuff that's useful, I keep it here because the cars can be crushed, but they can, so I have the crusher and all that, right? I'll show you that later. But they can often be refurbished, especially if they're just missing a couple of pieces. So you get the car basically for free from the dumper over there, or pick them up at the other junkyard. And then I just have all these spare parts. Most of them came from that dumper over there. Some of them came from the other junkyard. We might travel there on this, where I will pick up cars and then fill in the rest of whatever weight. I don't use this truck for it, but fill whatever's left of the weight with just random parts, because they can either be sold for pretty decent, or they can stack up like this and be used to refurbish. So specialty wheels here, and then inside, because when you're on this side of the car, it's a pain to walk around with wheels, so I throw a few back here too. And then over here, these are pretty common through the game, so there's really no reason to buy a bunch of them. So anyway, let's go for a drive. Let's look around the yard a little bit. So you can see these dumpsters, I basically never use them now. I really don't have a need for them. I'm thinking about just lining them up on the back fence so they're kind of out of the way. This is mostly where I dump cars in progress, so vehicles that I am working on, like refurbishing or going to. And then you can see I have a bunch of plastic bales. Probably time to clear that space out. I need to do a contract for those now that I have a ton of them. I just finished a paper one, so I don't have a lot of paper left. You can see there's still some in front of the machine. So basically, you fill the machine. I think you probably saw me doing this in the last one, but you can do the math in your head, or you can just look up at the numbers. I tend to mostly do the math in my head when I'm doing big parts. With these little ones, not so much. So just I'm just basically trying to clear this out. So it's not quite going to be enough, but it's pretty close. Anyway, so Anyway, that's what I do there. You can see I got the bigger truck. It's good and bad. I'll talk about that. But anyway, you can see stuff's piling up back there, so I need to, because of where I place the machine, stuff tends to hit the fence. When you first begin this game, if you've watched that previous video, a lot of the space is taken up with these containers that you can buy. So you pay to open the container, and then you can break the container up and feed it to the metal crusher, or whatever you want to call that over there. I'll talk more about that too as we get to it. So coming around, some of the upgrades that I did, so you can see the truck is at maximum weight capacity, so it can hold 1,000 kilograms, this particular truck. I rarely get close to that in this truck, but it's nice to have because there are the occasions where you're getting pretty close to that. I really wanted to use this as a car hauler because it's way easier to load cars on this than it is into that box truck. But that's not going to happen. This can really only hold one car, some maybe two. But anyway, you can see this thing just dumped. I've made this. This is the largest. It drops 25 items per, and then I'm working on the timing. So I'm making the money. I probably have the money now. I'm making the money to upgrade this so that I get, where is it on here? Scrap press, character, melting pot, incinerator, market upgrades. I should just show you all the upgrades I've done. So I upgraded the throwing power, and so far for me this has been good enough. I haven't really felt I need more, but down the line. And then this, I don't really upgrade these because I really only see these garbage piles when I go to the other junkyard, and there just aren't that many of them, so it's just not worth it. This one I probably will start upgrading once I finished a couple of my other goals. So valuables and garbage. So every black garbage bag, I no longer collect those, so my incinerator is kind of useless at this point because there's the random chance that you're going to end up with money. So you might see that as we play through here for a minute, but finding money, or you find something that's useful, like plastic paper or something like that. So I don't really collect the black bags and go incinerate them anymore. It's $50 a piece, but if you find money in them, it's a minimum of $100. And then most of the time, the other stuff, while money-wise isn't more valuable, it is more valuable in reaching other goals. This is kind of neat, I guess, but I'm probably not going to really bother. I'm probably not going to bother with this either, but I did do this. So this just basically means you can get the bigger piles of scrap. They usually look like big black piles of stuff, so they look like used tires mostly. Anyway, and then, so I've upgraded the scrap press a little bit. It'll eventually do more. And then the cart, before I had the option of a truck, the cart was important, so I did a few upgrades on it. Now it mostly sits, I almost never use it. Oh man, I'm out of coffee. Anyway, so this is the melting pot over there. This makes, I'll probably just show you when we go over there, but it makes the little blocks. They're worth a lot of money, so I use them a lot. I'll show you my feed process for that because I've kind of honed it in a way. Incinerator, I haven't done any upgrades because I just don't use it. Market upgrades, I did a couple of these. So you can see I did so that things are a little cheaper. That's just because I use the market to help fill, like I showed you earlier. I use it to help fill when I need more stuff. And then this just puts more items in the market. I'll eventually upgrade it some more as it becomes more, because in the end this is more time efficient versus cost efficient. So you kind of have to make a choice in this game, like most games like this. You're kind of balancing time management versus money. So I'll explain that in a minute. Let's just quickly finish these up. So warehouse upgrades, I've just made it bigger. being able to dump into the warehouse wasn't important, so I haven't bothered. I haven't done any of these upgrades really, just because I don't use the cart. Car crusher I have updated because basically you drop one car in, you get 3 of these, and up until recently I needed 3 of the what are they called? The blocks, the scrap blocks. I needed 3 of those to make one metal compressed ingot looking thing. But now I'm down to 2 because I did the other upgrade on the melting pot. But still, it's a nice upgrade to have if you want. Crane, the only upgrade I've done is this one. So basically it picks up 5 objects now because I mostly use it to move bulk things around. I wish that it was possible to have 2 cranes so that I could have one near where the dump is, and then that one could swing it over and dump it to where the other crane could pick it up and feed it to the crusher, but whatever. I haven't done any cargo upgrades because once the containers were gone out of my yard, I really didn't need it anymore, and I couldn't afford this. I had other things I really needed more, so I just never bothered. This I've done several upgrades to. So this is where we're standing right now. This is the maximum number of items, right? And then I'm working on the time. I'm going to get it down to 10 minutes because this stuff just infinitely piles up, so you don't have to take care of it all the time. But once you go over there, it's great because there's usually a lot of great stuff. Truck upgrades. I've upgraded the truck. What is this talking about? Oh, yeah, okay. I was still on the old one. I was like, what is this talking about? So I might eventually upgrade this, but I don't know. It's not terribly important to me because 15, that one can hold 15 right now, and that's about 3 junk cars. And that's about all you're ever going to fit in there anyway. So this isn't high on my list. Renovation upgrades, I stopped doing renovations. There's just no money in it. It's again a time management thing. So early in the game, there's a lot of money in these renovations. This is you saw me do it in the other videos, scrubbing things and painting them, whatever. There's just really no money in that once you get past a certain point. The payoff versus the time is not worth it, so I don't bother anymore. All the wooden items I get just go to the wood chipper. All the cars that you can refurbish, other than just build. So those all end up in the crusher now. So it's just not worth it. Plastic baler, I did one upgrade on this just so that it required a little bit less to put stuff in it. So it's down to 35. I'll probably do another one on it. Same with the paper. Right now it's I believe it requires 30 or something. Yeah. And that's 3 blue bags, and blue bags are super plentiful, so I really haven't had a reason to upgrade this yet. Wood shredder I have upgraded, just take a little bit less. It used to be 100. And then the flatbed, fully upgraded all the way to the top weight. And contracts. I have 3 contract spots, and that's it. I haven't bothered upgrading the rest of this because I did do this one, but I'm not sure. Oh, it's because there's 2 kinds of metal. But I really don't need more than one of each kind of contract because it's already a fair amount of effort to get enough stuff to do enough paper bales or enough plastic or whatever. So yeah, I tend to have between 1 and 2 contracts active at any given time. I got the 3rd spot because when you're like 1 away, but you got to wait 10 minutes for something to finish or whatever, but there's a really great contract, I like to grab that contract and have it there anyway so I can start unloading something else. And what I mean by that is you can see the pile up back there. So if you're looking back there, you see that stuff, all that wood and the plastic bales are piled up. I don't accept a contract until I have most of it already filled. So I don't look at like the wood contracts until I have at least, say, 10 or 12 of those bags sitting around ready to go. The reason is because I don't like to have a truck sitting back there forever hogging up a spot and have to do, and then I end up being tempted to do the little 1 or 2 bales at a time shuttling back and forth. It's a huge waste of time. So I don't really want to do that. Now, let's throw some metal stuff in here really quick, and I'll go over and we'll look at the crane and all the other, there we go, whatnots that's going on over there, because we're going to that side of the yard. So as long as we're here, might as well grab some and take it with. I'm not going to get too excited about making sure I get everything over there, because I'm not really working on metal projects right now. But I'm going to throw some items in here that are easily visible from the top of that crane over there, so you can see how it works. That's probably good enough. Alright. So, over on this side, you can see I'm piling up a bunch of these kind of bales. The reason I'm not melting those is because there's contracts that are just for those. So there are contracts that come that are just for these things. So I don't melt them over there anymore. What I do now is watch them slide. These are slippery. It's weird. It's like butter on the kitchen counter. Whereas those kind are not. The ones that come out of the car crusher, and they're colored according to the car you crushed, which is kind of neat. Now I'm down to the point where I just need 2 of these to make one of these things. So you can see it's worth $500 just like that if I was to go drop it in the market and sell it. Contracts for these, that's why I have a bunch of money right now, because the contracts to do 12 or 15 or whatever, I think the one I just finished was 14 of these, and that contract paid pretty close to 16 grand. So these are awesome. And I just let them pile up back here as the smelter runs. And the smelter just works like that. So you have those come out. Every time I crush a car, I get 3 of them coming out of there. I just shuttle those over here and make big piles, because I usually crush 5, 6, 7 cars at a time. So anyway, I'm gonna feed the machine from the tower. So let me take a couple of things out of here so we don't end up throwing it into the crusher by accident. Let's see, that's good. That's good. That's good. I'll take this one, and we'll call it good with those. One of the problems I have with the crusher is you can't control how much you're putting in. So if I come over here and I pick this stuff up, oops, I forgot to raise the boom, and I run it over here and drop it in, that's more than 100. So I just wasted some metal. That's annoying to me. Why isn't it picking that stuff up? Just not close enough. There we go. So most of the time what I do is I unload things and just drop them. And then I learned the hard way to put that way over there or way, whoops, wrong buttons, or way over here, because it can interfere with, for whatever reason, if it's hanging in the air above you, you can't get in and out of your truck, whatever. It acts as an object in the way. So I try to get in the habit of not leaving it there. So that's basically the operations over here. So I'm going to keep watching the contracts, look for one of those, these smelted bricks versus the car crushed bricks. And then I'm probably ready for a plastic one, so I'll start that, and then the wood that I was showing over there. Right now I'm working on a paper one, and I'm only 5 away. I'm going to have to make a couple of trips over to probably the residential neighborhood to fill that. And then, yeah, so that's basically what the lot looks like. Everything is pretty much fully upgraded. A couple things to note. I'm going to park this truck really quick. And this truck is super ponderous to drive. So I don't ever take it to the town because you can't turn that corner easily, and I don't take it to the forest because you would never turn anything. You can't even turn around there with this truck. So I don't take it to either of those places. I use that flatbed for everything. For this, I just go to the other wrecking yard. So I'm going to show you that because it's 500 to go, but we might as well go. I don't really need anything there, but right now, but we get some cars to crush. So come over here, and you can see almost everything here is metal, other than these black garbage bags, which I won't do it now because it takes time, but these black garbage bags I just go through and look for treasure. So I just open them all up. And then you can see the little stacks over here. These stacks on the left always give metal when you decompress them. I mostly just get rid of them to get them out of the way so I can move the truck further. And then the used tire stack looking ones over there, those are other stuff. So I usually go through those just looking for black garbage bags. Not enough space to take the story of my life on this truck. Okay, so this is what we're looking at for crusher options. So I'm just going to grab obvious crusher cars, and let's see, these need to be a certain direction or they won't fit. So I need it to be, there's too much crap in the way. There we go. So I need it to be like that. And then I'll just throw it in there and grab it. I try to get the ones that don't have tires and stuff on them, but until that's all that's left. So like if I'm doing a lot of metal crushing, I'll end up in here. This one backwards. I'll end up in here with a bunch of stuff. So I'll end up taking every single car here because I'll go back and forth 2 or 3 times in one day. So then I will end up taking these, and I'll usually take the tires off, and I'll take these and, depending on the shape they're in, probably crush them. This one is mostly intact, so I would restore that. This one, also mostly intact, so I would probably restore that. All you need is a door and a tire to it. These are... So when stuff gets stuck like that, the easiest way to fix it is what I just did. So right-click, I don't know what you would do on a controller, so that you're pivoting and moving the item, and then just wiggle it, and the items will break apart. That's all you really need to do. So to get 3 in here is often quite a chore. I really wish you could do a flatbed or had a car hauler option in this game. So when I stick it in there, you see what happens? It just keeps ejecting. You just kind of have to get it as close as you can and just try to really, really shove it in here. And that's, I mean, sometimes you just can't get any better. Like I can try to force it, but it's only going to go so far. So that's as good as it's going to get. Then the rest of the time, what I usually do is I go through the car piles, sometimes the metal scrap, and I just fill it in until that's full. But I'm not going to do that now because it's really time consuming, and I got other stuff to be doing. So you can see the car sticking out. There's a pretty good chance it will stay. Sometimes you get gypped and that vehicle disappears. Usually that happens because it's one of those restorable vehicles. It doesn't usually happen with these yellow ones. So that black car, I'll probably take that because I can restore that. So those are about $1,300 or $1,400. These little green ones, they're like $800, I think, when they're fully restored, and then about $15 for the white ones. So I just do the restorations. The yellow ones are about $1,300. I don't see one, but I see some parts from it. So it's decent money, and it doesn't take a whole lot of effort. So anyway, this is how I exit. I don't bother trying to turn around. So it looks like I kept it. That's cool. Alright, so the routine on crushing cars is just, see, it moved my boom. It used to be way over there. So anyway, I just find a spot kind of close, and then just grab the cars and dump them out. So, oh, gimme. Did I let go of it? So we just pull these out and dump them, and then get in the crane, grab one, and put it in the crusher. And the crusher's pretty fast, you don't have to wait. So as that one crushes, it'll be done before I get another one picked up. So I can come over here, grab this one. You just have to be close, you don't have to be right on it to pick it up. And you can see it spit out those 3 blocks. So I do this. I'm gonna do all 3 since I'm already in the crane. and then, yeah. So you just drop them in there, and with these 3, I've now got 9 blocks. 9 blocks is 4.5 of those metal, whatever they're called over there. So I need one to get this machine to go. I'll come over later and move the rest. So there we go. So this will start smelting, you see that, and then you end up with one of these. So pretty cool. Like I said, this big truck, pretty ponderous. I use it to haul materials. Like if I could load all of those in here, if I get a contract, I'll load them all in here because pretty much all of them will fit. Otherwise, this truck just sits. And then, yeah, so you can see this is basically what you end up with. There's a lot of options. I ended up fiddling with the tuning on position of the crusher. So I'm doing something I don't ever do. I usually drive around. But anyway, I fiddled with the positioning of the crusher. The game isn't good about telling you where things happen. So I thought initially that they would come out this side. They don't. They come out this side. So I ended up spinning and moving, and then this is positioned slightly cockeyed so that from up there I can see these blocks. Earlier when I first set it, I couldn't see them. It was a little too far this way and too straight on, so I couldn't see it. These, if you remember, were way over there, but metal is so separate from the rest of the processes, they deserve to just have their own big space. And then this gives me space to pile up junk cars to crush and other things, and it gives me space to pile those up. I was just letting them come out the front of the machine, but because you also feed from the front of the machine, that's kind of a pain. So right now, this is the reason I took these things out, because one of these is all I need to do this. So there you go. It'll just start running. Yeah, so now basically what I've been doing now is filling contracts, getting those goals met, and then slowly fine-tuning. So if you remember from the earlier game, the paper crusher was over there. I moved it over here so that when I have this truck full of stuff, like if I went to, say, the neighborhood, the residential area, it's mostly going to be paper, wood, and plastic, and then occasional metals, small metals. So what I'll do is I'll just pull in here and I'll just park the truck right here. And then I can go from either side. I can unload the wood and the plastic and whatever paper's on this side of the truck, I can throw it over. And then I can come around to this side of the truck and do the same thing, loading this and whatever plastic and whatever I can throw over it. And that's pretty much it. It makes it really fast and easy to unload. And then whatever's left is probably metal. And then I'll just drive it over there and take it off with a crane or throw it out if it's 1 or 2 items. And that's it. And then when stuff shows up like this, you saw me earlier doing this, I'll grab things that are marketable like this, and I'll just make a separate pile up. And eventually, I'll come pick these all up and haul them over there and either sell them on the marketplace or throw them in the repair. So this is one of those things I'll keep, so this will end up in one of the piles. These doors, I have a lot of them, so I'll probably sell them. Same with these bumpers and that hood. This roof I'll keep. All of this stuff is going to go to sell in the marketplace because I really don't need to stack it up. And a lot of this metal is one time. So this is 90 out of 100 kilograms I need for the crusher, so that's cool. I like those kind of items. And then the wood, of course. I don't really need any wood chipping, so I've just been letting things pile up here. And I just kind of dig through and grab what I need. I will come over and get a bunch of metals. And the cardboard probably. So anyway, that's kind of my, that's basically my process. I've just been doing this sort of thing over and over. And building this place up. A couple things I wish for this game. I wish that you could buy cargo containers. So rather than having to haul my truck all the way over to the junkyard, probably only get a third or half of it to fit for $3,000 to buy one of those cargo containers, I wish I could just buy that shipping container and have it show up here. Because I want to break the container down, I want to get all the stuff out of it, and then I want to break the container down for the metals. And that's several $500 trips to the junkyard to make that happen. So in the end, cost-wise, you're not really making anything. Another thing I wish is that that crusher over there, this annoys the hell out of me. So when it's like this, so it just finished, and I'm over here feeding it, look what I can't see. I can't see how full it is. I have to move around to look, right? That's super annoying. That number should be higher or off to the side or something where it's easier to see, or in front of this big door, something, because it's just a little bit annoying. So game devs, quality of life right there. Otherwise, yeah, the cool thing is you can play this game the way you want. So I'm playing it mostly as car restoration and smelting and filling contracts. I'm just trying to make my goals to get every upgrade. After that, I'm probably going to run out of interest in this game. But that's the way it is. But there's a lot of hours in this game if you want to play and set those goals. There is a ton of hours. At this point right now, I think I'm about 12 real hours playing and 60-something days of playing. And I've wasted a day talking to you guys, so this contract is going to be difficult to meet, but I'll get it. It's fine. If you don't fill a contract, which I have had happen a couple of times, all that happens is you pay a fee, so you pay a fine for missing it, and then all your stuff just shoots out of that truck and piles up right here, and the truck leaves. I'll make this contract. I only need 4 more bales, and I think I've already got 1 or 2. So a couple of trips to the residential area and whatnot to get some paper, and I will have it full. I've got this box that got stuck under there. I think it finally moved down, but I can't get a hold of it because of the machine. See that? Super annoying. Anyway, but yeah, this is basically where you end up in the game. My yard is super clean because I just killed and crushed all those containers, and honestly, those containers paid for a huge amount of this stuff. There's a lot of metal in those, so once you break the pieces down, they're 30 kilograms a piece, and you can stack them pretty much infinitely on top of this truck until you hit that mark, and move them over to run them through the machine. So really great game. I really do like this game. So yeah, it's repetitious, but not in a terrible way. So some of the games that are like this, the repetition kills the game. In this game, the repetition can be goal oriented. There's enough goals and enough things to find that this game is worth it. So, all right, that's where we're at with this. I don't know if I'll do any more updates on this particular game. If I do, it's mostly just going to be maybe showing some of the routines or processes to like fill contract. So trash truck just got here, so you can see it's just dumping more stuff out. Looks like a lot more metal, or that could be the metal that was already there getting shoved. But anyway, yeah, the cool thing with that is it just stacks up. So for a long time in the game, I didn't even know that this existed. There was just a pile of crap over there, and I just assumed it was a pile of stuff. I didn't realize it renewed. So, all right, that's where we're at with Junkyard Builder, I think is the name of this. And yeah, it's a pretty cool game. I'm going to do a few upgrades, and like I said, if I do come back to this game on as far as the video channel, it's going to be to show some of these routines. So, all right, that's what I got. I'll see you on the next one.